So listen, we are in a dog shit world where being an entrepreneur is almost and most likely gonna be the path for most. And I will say this because the job market, which some of you don't really know because you don't really research or look into stuff, so that's understandable. But I will say for the ones that actually do or tuned in, understand that being an entrepreneur is not easy. It's actually kind of hellish when you first start. Of course, when I first started, I had to isolate myself and I had to change everything drastically because I wanted to change everything now. I wanted things just to start working now because I'm an impatient person. But I can tell you, everything fell in line, but it had a lot of pains. I will say, lots of being scammed because you got to learn when you're at a super young age and you don't know about all of the nitty gritty shitty things out there like scammers, fraudsters. I would say most of my entrepreneurial life has been due to lots of betrayals and some recent betrayals, scams. And I mean, once you get scammed the first time, it's not going to be something super light. It might be something that's like a domino effect of just scams. And it doesn't mean that you're stupid or slow or idiotic. It just means that you just haven't experienced it yet. Everyone's got to experience something. You are never going to be too smart to not experience some things. Everyone has a different learning scope. Some people may learn through trials and error, and some people may learn through watching other people. And unfortunately, I didn't learn through watching other people because I didn't know anyone around me that was getting scammed as hard as I was. But I learned from a very complicated situation where involved someone building relationship with you, brotherhood, only to turn around and just completely land you flat on your ass. But luckily for me, I always bounce up. So what I will say is, for entrepreneurs, you're gonna have to focus on yourself. Your friends are gonna have to, move out of the way, because if they don't have much ambition, if they're not striving for the same thing you're striving for, they're only gonna slow you down, and then you're gonna be in a forever ending cycle. Just like me. I kept going out, kept drinking, kept spending all my money, and then I just wasn't making any progress. But as soon as I cut that out for a few months, then I started making progress. I started learning things, I started building things, I started coming up with things that I never ever thought in my entire life that I was able to do. And now I have all this bookload of knowledge in my head, and now I can go anywhere internationally and just share my skills and knowledge, or just capitalize off my own skills and knowledge, and that be a living. The thing is, some people just need to do their own research and just self-learn, self-teach yourself, or self-teach, teach yourself the skills that you need or you want, and then things work out. I mean, it may not be something. Sometimes you gotta use your imagination, because it's not as simple as walking into an office and then applying for a job. I'm sorry, it's not as simple as that. Sometimes in my early days, I was sitting there reaching out to hundreds and hundreds of companies trying to offer my services or trying to offer skills that I learned, and that is extremely hard because everyone is doing that. But once you actually figure out how to reach out, how to network, how to speak, how to write emails, how to articulate, things start to go a little bit smoother. And the thing is, I like to call it the snowball effect. You start off small, you don't know nothing, you don't know anyone, but as you gradually start reaching out, you start socializing, you start networking, the network just keeps building wider and wider and wider. Next you know, in 5 years, you got a shitload of connections. So you always have endless options. And I will say 5 years ago in the past versus 5 years from that time to now. 5 years ago, crickets. All there was just me and the internet. There were no ideas. I had to just sit there and like go through trial and error. 5 years later, well, in that 5 years, I'm getting ideas from actual people. My friends give me ideas. My friends give me feedback of how to improve certain things because they're experts in their field. So if I am doing something like content creation, they're giving me critiques, suggestions, books, ebooks, books that they wrote, their trial and errors, all their mistakes. So it just helps. So that's why you have to network, you have to branch out, you have to reach out. You can't just be a person who's always asking for shit all the time. Because you're always asking for shit, then you just warn away, genuine people. Because I don't want to be around people who just ask me for shit all the time. But be a person that's willing to give. I give ideas all the time. And I share a lot of information, a lot of tools. And it helps. It helps. And I do a lot of groundwork. And I share with my group, or I share with my network. I share with my friends. And things work out. Things work out. Once you cross on the other side, everything starts to make sense. And then you can never go back to the other side because you learn too much. So that's the thing. Do something new. Change up your habits, change up your daily toxic habits, like going to the bar and drinking all the time. I know, community, friends, social life, but there's something called a sacrifice. And if you don't sacrifice, you're not going to go anywhere. So, just shooting some advice from my experience. I'm not an expert. I'm just sharing what I did without being detailed, and just thought it was just cool to just share. So catch you later.